Hey, what is up, nation? It is your boy XX Sick Man XX here, back at it again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Overwatch patch notes that have dropped. They aren't actually immediate, but they are going to be implemented sometime next month, sometime within like the next 3 weeks or something like that. So I figured I'd go over it. I feel like this is the first like real balance patch that we've gotten for Overwatch 2. I like talking about balance patches and stuff like that, so let's get into it. So they say they want to talk about hero balance adjustments. As promised, we are focused on some tactical adjustments meant to bring current standouts like D.Va, Zarya, Genji, and Sombra more in line with the rest of the roster. I'm surprised that they put D.Va up there. I feel like Zarya kind of has just a level above D.Va. Whatever, it is what it is. D.Va is definitely really strong. So with Sombra, the hack ability lockout duration has been reduced from 1.75 to 1.5 seconds. Hacked enemies no longer are valid targets for hacking, and hacked multiplier damage is changed from 40% to 25%. I actually thought that the hack damage multiplier was 50%. So whoops, my bad. As far as the ability lockout duration, I don't really think that this is going to change a lot. They talk about in the dev comment they really want to get rid of the lockout loops that Sombra kind of had, where she could just keep hacking people in invis and it just shut off a lot of abilities and it was really difficult to work with. Realistically, the hacked enemy, you can't re-hack people while they're still already hacked. I think that just shuts that down, and that's extremely powerful. And the hack damage multiplier being reduced, I think this is going to hurt Sombra a ton, like a ton. Sombra was already pretty inconsistent in her ability to just like one clip weaker characters after hacking them, and now I think it's going to be almost impossible for her, unless she's hitting mad headshots, for her to like get any quick kill off and then dip out. Realistically, this like could just kill Sombra outright. I'm not gonna lie, she'll still be solid. She still has broken stuff like good old Papagando Las Luces, but as far as her core gameplay, like this hurts a lot. And then moving on down to ya boy, I need healing. Genji maximum ammo has been reduced from 30 to 24, and the shuriken damage has been reduced from 29 to 27. This feels kind of like a nothing nerf. Like it seems that they just a lot of people were complaining on social media about Genji when the game first came out, and so they just wanted a nerf to say that they nerfed Genji. The shuriken damage reduction, reducing its damage by 2. I don't think that that's going to do anything. The ammo reduction is more impactful than the damage reduction. It just means that Genji is going to like not be able to follow up after getting in as quickly, I guess. He's going to run out of ammo a lot quicker. Like, you can't hit them consistently like you can with hit scan, so you need to constantly have that steady stream of projectiles. And now that's kind of being shut off a little bit with this ammo nerf. And now let's move on to Zarya. Fucking hate this character. Barrier duration reduced from 2.5 to 2 seconds. Barrier cooldown increased from 10 to 11 seconds. This is so good. I'm so glad they did this. This is not like a nerfed into the ground type of nerf. I think Zarya will still be a good tank. However, her barrier is so degenerate and I hate it so much, and everyone else hates it. Having just 5 seconds of non-stop damage negation and then you're already 5 seconds to your next shield, like it just became so hard to shoot anyone ever. And so I think that reducing barrier, especially the duration by itself, a half a second doesn't seem like a lot, but when you put it into percentages, that's a 20% duration reduction. Like that's, people might say that this does not matter and it's not gonna do anything, but I think people will be surprised when it actually gets put into the game how much it matters. The cooldown being increased, I think that this is gonna kind of be niche and it won't have that much of an impact, but it could matter for those longer sort of neutral team fight type of interactions where she kind of has to wait a little bit longer, and you know, maybe she starts to run out of shields, and so good teams that keep track of her shield count and the timers might actually be able to force her to use her resources, and then they can just go for an all-out Bingus push. So I really like these nerfs. These are pretty good. And then for D.Va, fusion cannon spread increased from 3.5 to 3.75, and boosters impact damage reduced from 25 to 15. This is almost as much of a nothing nerf as the Genji. Actually, it's even more pointless. The cannon spread is, that might do a little bit, but if she's firing into groups of people, then it won't actually matter at all. The boosters impact damage is like, that's really funny. Why would they feel the need to go after that? D.Va was a really strong tank. I don't know if that really warranted a nerf, but I think this is also just like a nothing nerf, just to kind of silence the complainers a little bit. This really won't, this won't do too much. And then moving on to Kiriko, Swift Step invulnerability duration reduced from 0.4 to 0.25 seconds. So I think the dev comment kind of tells us a lot, that this realistically is just kind of supposed to be a clarity nerf, because of the Swift Step like not having a bit too long of invulnerability. I mean, 0.15 seconds does matter, but like, I think that it will kind of do what it needs to do, and it will, you know, kind of lessen the weird interactions where Kiriko just tanks an entire hit for no reason. All in all, I would say that these nerfs and these changes are pretty good, and I think that they kind of target what they need to go after. But now, let's play a little game. And the game is called Where is Sojourn and Doomfist on this list? Now, why they wouldn't make any changes to either of these two characters is kind of beyond me. Yes, I know the whole reason behind the rank thing with Sojourn. I've heard it all. I've heard it all a million times. If they're going to give a nothing nerf to characters like Genji and D.Va, I don't understand why they wouldn't give a nothing nerf to the universally considered best DPS in the entire game right now. She does everything. I think realistically the easiest way they could have like toned down Sojourn would just be like, the railgun is the problem, really. People can complain about the grenade, they can complain about alt, whatever. I mean, really, once you take away railgun, Sojourn becomes a lot worse. I think realistically making it so railgun can't one-shot like 250s, even, it's already too powerful just being able to one-shot 200 health characters, but I think just taking the health impact away from it, I think is kind of key. And nerfing railgun is also going to indirectly nerf her alt, since that's what kind of enables the railgun. It's just bizarre. And it blows my mind even more that they wouldn't give any buffs to the worst character in the game. Especially when you're going to put as much of an emphasis on role queue, and you're going to have such a limited cast for both supports and tanks. I feel like you should probably make it a priority to make as many of those characters competitively viable, of which Doomfist just is not. And it's not like this is a hard fix for Doomfist either. There is stuff about him that is clearly bad and clearly needs improvement. I guarantee you I can literally put up a note right now and I can make something for it. Alright, check this out. Block damage mitigation goes from 80% to 90%. Cool. Buff. Next. Seismic strike. I think that's what it's called. Cooldown decreased by 1 second. Amazing. Health increased from 450 to 500. This is how you buff Doomfist. I'm just coming up with some pretty obvious stuff off the top of my head. If you did this, he would become a significantly better character. I just don't get it. All in all, I think the patch notes are fine, but I think now they've made the other issues that they haven't addressed even more polarizing, and I think that that could be extremely annoying to deal with. Now it feels like there's absolutely no reason to not play Sojourn, and now people who are trying to grind ranked are going to have to deal with tanks that play Doomfist, and they're just going to insta-lose because they don't have a viable tank. So I hope that they add a couple of things, just a couple of band-aid buffs to Doomfist, a couple of band-aid nerfs to Sojourn, and I hope they just kind of bring those two characters that they missed in just a little bit. Just give us something. Just give us something. The issues are there, all you gotta do is fix them. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye!